What up, my nerdizzles? Hi guys, it's another 5-minute tutorial, and now we're just going to extend the HUDs tutorial we did last time. Sorry, mine went blank for a second there. Yeah, so we're going to extend the HUDs that we had before from the last 5-minute tutorials. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to go through triggering an event as you walk through a trigger. Essentially, it's going to turn the HUD on and off. So you can have on-screen prompts, you could have like notes that you can physically look at. You want to pull them up to the screen as you walk into them, or you know, on a key event and walking in them, and so on. So let's crack straight into it. The first thing we're going to want to do is we're just going to want to go down to our content browser and right-click and create a new blueprint class, and we're going to want to select actor. Okay, so you've created your new actor blueprint. It's an empty blueprint, so go ahead and open it. I've called mine prompt because it's going to be an on-screen prompt. Okay, and in here we're going to go and add a box trigger, or box collision it's called. Yeah, that should be fine because we can resize that in the scene. And down on the right hand side in the details panel, all the way at the bottom, you can see the trigger events that you can set up pretty much to go. So like if it was a touchscreen game, it was an input touch, and if you touch on the trigger, it would do something. What we are interested in here is the begin overlap. So I'm going to add one of those, and I'm going to go back to the viewport, and I'm just going to reselect the box, and I'm going to add an end overlap as well, because we want to call it when it comes in, and then we want to disable it when, so as you walk into the trigger, you want to call something up on screen, and as you walk out, it's going to disable it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we are going to create a widget. We're going to create a widget, and we're going to want to get player controller. Okay, that's not going to be enough though, so actually what we want to do is select both of those and pull them out slightly, pull them off. Before we do that, what we should have done is we should have added the cast to character. Cast to character. There we go. In fact, we want to cast a third person character because that's what we're using. That one. There we go. I'm going to hook that up, and then on the object, I'm just going to get player character. There we go. Okay, so we've got player character and we've got player controller. On the begin overlap, we've created our widget, and that's the HUD widget. So we're just going to create HUD widget there. So we've selected that in our class, and then we are going to want to add that to viewport, to just like before. Okay, so that's going to, as we walk through the trigger, set that up. And if we just click back into our third person character, we don't want this to show on the begin play. So as soon as we begin playing, if we left that hooked up, it would just automatically put it on screen. Okay, let's quickly go in and set some new text to the HUD itself. So again, if you don't remember, go back down to third person character, and then in the blueprints we create the HUD there, so just double click on that and it'll open it up. And you'll notice in the vertical box in the text block, I've now changed that text to this is a note or on-screen prompt, just so we know what it is. So compile and save that. Okay, and now I'm going to go back to my prompt, and now I'm going to end the overlap. So again, I'm going to select that and that and that for ease, and I'm going to Control and C, and then bring my cursor down, Control V, and that just copies those three things I had selected. I can hook that back up to there, and now instead of creating a new HUD, new widget, and adding it to the viewport, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to remove from parent. This is, in fact, no, let's just put it off there. There you go, widget remove from parent. Okay, you may have to go up to your add to viewport and pull it off of there and then disconnect it and connect it here. Don't ask me why, but it just seems to be a bit funny sometimes about certain things because it's trying to be context sensitive. So, in fact, I don't need that either because the return value has to come from the HUD because it needs to know what it's removing. So essentially all it's doing is saying, okay, well if this happens, it's going to get the HUD and it's going to remove that from the parent. Okay, and that should be everything. Okay, so all we're saying here is on begin overlap, we're going to cast a third person character with getting the character player player, and then we're going to create a widget on the player controller and we're going to add that to the viewport. And then when we end the overlap, we're going to cast the third person character, so we're going to reference the third person character, yeah, after getting the player character, and we're going to remove that widget from the parent. So we're going to remove it. So let's compile and save, and we've made sure that we've compiled and saved our HUD as well. We've made sure that we've disconnected the event begin play from the third person character, and now let's just go and drop in the content. Let's go drop our prompt into here. I'm going to resize it because this is the thing that's going to affect our character. So as we walk in, so if we start, when it loads up, as you notice there's nothing on screen whatsoever. I wander around and I'm just going to wander around, go into third person mode, and I've walked into that trigger and it says this is a note or on screen prompt, and then as I've walked out of it, it's come back off again. So let's just go into first person mode and it does it again. So you can see now that would be really useful for, you know, at the beginning of a game where you have on-screen prompts. It would be really useful for, instead of having text, maybe you've got a note system where you're not actually picking them up into an inventory, you just want to give the player information, so as you walk up to an object it comes up onto the screen. And again, you could put an image in there instead. Maybe we'll do that later on, some more advanced UMG stuff or HUDs stuff. In fact, I think we will do. But yeah, that's it. That's this 5 minutes tutorial, and I think that's about 5 minutes. So I hope you enjoyed. Any comments, leave them down below. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next one.